Hi, friends. This is Wendy Harrop, and welcome to the Say Yes to Yourself podcast. On the Say Yes to Yourself podcast, you'll hear stories from women just like us who are adding the practice of saying yes in their daily lives in big and small ways, and as a result, are experiencing the truth that everybody wins when you say yes to yourself. Saying yes to yourself is a graceful unfolding, an intentional becoming of the very best version of you. It is my hope that in these conversations, we are able to find our truth and be inspired and empowered to live our very best lives. I'm so excited to go on this journey with you, and I look forward to finding a bit of our own story in each other's. Hello, friend. Welcome back to the podcast. I am so delighted to have you here. Thank you so much for listening. I really cannot say that often enough. I am so appreciative for your role in this beautiful co-creation we've got going on here. This podcast brings me so much joy, so much growth, so much expansion. I'm completely obsessed, and I really appreciate that you are here with me, that you are listening, that you are enjoying what you hear. I love when you reach out to me on Instagram or an email, or better yet, in person, and tell me that you're enjoying the podcast, that you're having some takeaways. It's just such a gift, and I treasure those and welcome them. You are never reaching out too much. I mean, look at me. I'm in your ear twice a week. So please, you are welcome to return the favor. I hope you had a great Easter. We are in the middle of April break here. So Amelia and I have been playing after our gorgeous Easter weekend guests left, and we had this just delicious feast around the table in the barn, and they so graciously held space for Amelia and I, and we met the most fascinating, fabulous people, some of which you will hear in later episodes, because I rarely have a conversation with some amazing woman before I realize she's saying yes in big and small ways to herself. And I need her to tell her story on this very platform. So the more I keep going out and being around people, the more episodes we've got of this beautiful podcast. So thank you for listening. Thank you for giving me permission to do this beautiful thing that is filling my hearts in ways that I didn't even know it needed. Today's guest is such a fantastic woman. She's so cool. I met her several months ago. We recorded a podcast, and then I was a part of Anna K. Morris's summit, and Staci Berkovitz was a guest on the summit as well. And it was so fun to get to know her even better. She wrote a hilarious book called Naked at 50. And she says the year she turned 50, Staci Berkovitz made a bold decision to say yes to 50 new experiences, from wild, exhilarating adventures to transformative moments. Her year of discovery will make you laugh, reflect, and maybe even shed a tear. But this isn't just Staci's story. It's an invitation for you to kick fear to the curb and start living with more joy, passion, and purpose. With humor, heart, and a little bit of sass, her book, Naked at 50, will show you that midlife isn't the end of the road. It's the beginning of your boldest chapter yet. I know you are going to love Staci. She's hilarious. She's so fun, and she has so much to share. Please enjoy this expansive, electrifying, just great conversation with my friend Staci Berkovitz. Fun, Staci? I'm so excited about this conversation. We have already been at it for a few minutes before I hit record, and I already love you so much. And I'm super excited to be connected. So thank you for being here.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for having me. I know I'm like taking notes already in my mind of all the good things you've just shared. So thank you
Oh,
for having.
well, as we were talking before I hit record, and my listeners know, I record these interviews on Thursdays. Today I have 5 interviews, and I am so excited. I am not the same woman on Thursday afternoons that I was on Thursday morning. And it feels it's like I'm in this mastermind of fabulous women up to fabulous things, and your generosity, your grace, your power, your courage is so encouraging and enlightening and invitational to the listener, but I'm a listener too. Like I love this. So thank you. Thank you for your amazing work in the world, and thank you for your generosity in sharing some of that with our listeners today.
Wow. Thank you so much for saying. Thanks for, okay, I'm going to sling it back at you, Wendy, and
Do
say
it.
thank you for providing the space and the
Mm.
kindness and the warmth to open us interviewees up to really want to share and to really get down to the good stuff, to dive deep and not keep it so elusive.
Right? Oh, that's so beautiful. I agree as well. And I really feel like this is part speed dating slash coming to my house, where if you were here, I would have already handed you a glass of champagne. We would be sitting in the library. We would be having this gorgeous conversation. And I just can't believe that I'm at work right now.
You know what is so okay? So I have to make a comment about speed dating. So you brought it up. I
Please.
gotta go.
Yes.
Two recent things happened to me with regards to that. Yesterday, I went to this small business owners expo, and one of the things they did is they had this speed networking where it was this big room, and the inside moved just like a speed dating event every 2 minutes. And so, like, the guy would literally ring a gong, grr, and it was so loud. So you're almost having to yell to the person across from you. So my voice today is a little bit raspy. And the second thing is, I went to a Tantra speed dating event.
What is that?
It is, okay. Well, first of all, it's all over the US, so you can like, use the magic of Google to find it. It's a chapter in my book. It's one of the 50 experiences I did. And it is literally, you know what, speed dating, like normal speed dating, right? Like, hi, my name is Joe. I am an accountant. What about you? Like it's like it feels so
Yes.
well, Tantra speed dating is like way more intimate. So, but it doesn't, not like, everyone's naked or having sex in a big room, but it's like you talk about real things. And so like, and you're given the assignment, it's similar, you're standing as opposed to sitting, but the women rotate and you just basically like, it was different. It was a different thing for each person. So one, it was like, tell this person what you're grateful for. And so she would give you the
Mm.
space, and then if you're the man, held masculine
Okay.
energy, and you're just going to let the woman be in her feminine, and like it was like, oh my gosh, these are all like the terms we use. I'm digging this.
Right.
And then, okay, so you do all these cool different things. One of the last things we did was you asked your partner to hold you in a way you want it to be held. Okay, these were like strangers. And normally,
Oh my
like
gosh.
you would get the major icks, right? Like you wouldn't want like an but it was magical. And I don't mean magical like,
Right.
no, we're a couple. I mean
Right.
magical like, oh my gosh, it's so somatic to feel
Yes.
held and be able to let go. It was so beautiful. And then the women did that next, you would switch to the next person, and the women were able to provide that. And so you were able to communicate to the person how you want it to be held. Were you like, where there was a person rubbing your head? Were you held from behind? Were you held on the side? You got to choose. And you could also say, I'd like to sit this one out. So if it was not like jiving with you, you didn't have to be held. But it was really cool. It was really cool.
Wow.
So I know.
fascinating. I love so many elements around the communication portion of that in just, I'm going to tell you, I will be expressing my needs now. And I have been invited to do so. But also the reflective state that you need to be in to ask yourself, how do I want to be held? What am I grateful for? Like you're asking yourself the question and then intuitively, intentionally answering the question. It's like you went on a date with yourself and met a whole bunch of people at the same time.
Yeah, it was so and the facilitator did a really good job at the beginning. She's like, "This doesn't have to be romantic. You're just looking for connections, intimate connections, and networking." So she said it so you didn't feel like if I don't connect with someone romantically, this is a bust. And it was
Right.
also like we asked permission. So there's all she set it
Right.
up really well. There was one other thing, like we did the eye gazing was one of the activities where you just stare into the person's eyes.
Oh
So,
my
but there was
gosh.
one that I loved, which is totally up my woo-woo alley, which I'm assuming, Wendy, you have a lot of woo too.
I do.
And we stood on the side of the guy and we put our hand on the heart, like his heart, and a
Mm.
hand on the back. She talked us through almost like a visual guided meditation of how we were sending him energy and healing and love.
Oh,
It was so neat. It was instead of like Joe from accounting, like what I mean? Like it was just this beautiful human experience that you definitely don't
oh my
get in regular
gosh.
speed dating or speed networking with the gong.
Holy smokes. Okay, we are linking that in the show notes for sure.
Yeah, shout out to Tantra Speed Dating. They have a good
Oh my
program going on.
gosh, that sounds really amazing. I have not, let's see, the last time I went on a date, uh, 1997, and then prior to that date, um, 1991.
Okay, I have so many questions.
I
So was
bet.
1997, you're like, were you married at that point?
I was divorced from my first husband and met who would become my second husband, only person I dated in between divorcing and remarrying. And 1991 is that when I got married? Oh, 1992. But I obviously don't date somebody the second you're marrying them, as a rule. I don't know, but maybe the Tantra guy, I'm like, all right.
I mean, maybe there was another room for weddings after, who knows? So
Yeah, well,
you
I
you
was a
got
wedding
married in
planner.
1992 and then in 1997.
And in 1997, I got divorced and met my person who was become my second husband and got married in 2000 and then got divorced started. Divorce almost takes as long as dating. In 2022.
Okay, so that's recent.
Mhm.
That's a good go. 20. I almost
I
feel
know,
like
right?
when we go, because I'm divorced, I've been divorced once. I almost feel like, when you go to court, they should hand you your certificate. Like every 5 years, you get, how like at a job, you get like a pen
Yeah,
or like a leather wallet or
right.
whatever. Like you made it. You made it
I
this
got the
far.
watch. I got the
Yeah, yeah.
Rolex. That was
You
20 years in, right?
Yeah, yeah, you get the Rolex at 20 years, or sometimes you have to give the Rolex at 20
Right.
years,
I didn't
depending
get the
on the
Rolex,
divorce.
but yes.
Well, it's just it's fascinating too. I was talking to a friend of mine last night after Zumba. She's one of my Zumba students, and she was saying that because I was interviewed on a famous dating podcast,
Oh,
and
fun.
she listened to the interview. Yeah. It was fun. It was definitely vulnerable. But anyway, she listened to it. She's like, let me just reassure you. She just turned 60. She said, let me just reassure you. Sometimes it's great not to be in a relationship. I love my husband. That's what she's saying. I'm like, I love my husband, but sometimes I want to like spend a week by myself. Sometimes more than a week, but he's great. And so it's so
Right.
funny how like sometimes when we're in our single season, we're like, it'd be nice to be coupled. And then sometimes when we're in our couple season, we're like, be nice to be single. So that just goes to show you like you are wherever you are,
Right.
like,
If you have straight hair, you want curly hair. If you have curly
yeah,
hair, you want straight
yeah,
hair. If you have bangs, you want no bangs, all the things.
all
Yes.
the things, all the
Right.
things.
I have decided that my third husband will be Wendy Harrop. And I am in this beautiful, don't know how long it will be, love affair with myself. And I'm listening to myself. I'm paying attention to what delights me and then only doing that. And I feel like if I don't do that, I would go, I mean, if your vibration on a subject is where you last left it, I cannot go into the dating market as the 1997 version of me because I'm just not her. If I'm a totally different person on a Thursday afternoon than I am on a Thursday morning because of podcast interviews, for
Yeah.
sure, I want to put a lot of intention into that. And like your 60-year-old friend, I'm not mad at my life right now. So I feel really good about that. But when I am ready, that is the type of situation. Or I'm just going to attend Abraham Hicks seminars in Europe. So that way, like we've already checked so many boxes.
Okay. Well, yes to all of that. Although I have to tell you, I've
Tell
never
me.
like delved in yet to the Abraham Hicks thing, but I hear it everywhere. And I know I need to look into that. I will say this. I've been single as in like not married. I have had relationships, but I've been divorced 11 and a half years. And
Congratulations.
thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
I guess it's my year to get the feather gift or whatever. But
That's
anyway,
right.
so I really thought I would be like my ex-husband got married 3 months after our divorce. And
Oh,
while that is way too soon, I thought, in a couple years, 2 or 3 years, I'm sure I'll be married again. Like I just thought, I'd been married 15 years. I'm like, of course I'll be married. Oh my gosh. Like here I am, 11 and a half years later. And I am just so glad that I've had this time.
yeah.
It does become a little more challenging, I feel like, as you get older to merge a life together. Like it's
Mm,
like the difference between a startup and a merger. When you're in your 20s, you're in that startup mentality. You probably don't have much, so you're not going to really lose much, right? So you're in that start. You probably don't have kids, or you may, but you probably don't. And so when you're meeting somebody, it's just like you're both like a little startup company.
right.
But I'm 50 now, and when I was divorced, I was like just shy of, I think I was 38, almost 39 when I got divorced. And I had 4 children. And my kids are from Russia. They were adopted from Russia.
My daughter is adopted from China.
But okay, we're gonna dig into that one.
Yes.
But they were really challenging. They came as older kids. They were really challenging. And I love them, but boy, have they continued to give me they're all grown. But it was hard to bring a person into that.
Mm,
And so I would have relationships, but I would kind of be like, I'd have to pull back because it was, your kids are your priority.
right.
Now I find I'm really like, I love that I don't have to like wear something fancy to bed. Not that I ever really did,
Right.
but like I'm not, you know what I mean? Like it's the
Right.
where I'm just like, however, on the practical side, we live in a very expensive world right now. I would love to split the bills with someone. And my daughter and granddaughter live with me, and my daughter does not pay for anything except the occasional paper towel or toilet paper pack. And I really, really am like, on a practical level, I would sure love, I don't want a roommate. Like, I don't want someone to move, but I'm like, I would really love somebody we could split those bills down the middle. And
Right.
occasionally one person makes the other person dinner, preferably the other person make me dinner. But like, like these are things that you miss when you're in that type of relationship. It's practical
Right.
too.
Right. Like there's this really darling dress that I love, but if Amelia, my 10-year-old, is with her dad, I can't wear that because I can't unzip it. So it's like, or I can't wear that one bracelet because I'm just one person trying to put it on. So yeah, there are things, but
There are things.
and
There are
I have
things.
other dresses. Like I'm not
Yeah. You're like, I guess I'm not going to the party because I can't zip it up myself. Right. Like
exactly.
I love that. And there are other dresses. Yeah, you would do adapt just like you do when you're in a relationship. I feel like there is no perfect
Totally.
scenario. It's just that it's just showing up
Yeah.
as you and trying to find the gratitude in that situation. Because,
Yes.
okay, quick story. My daughter is pregnant, my other daughter, the one that lives with me.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's an interesting situation. I'm not going to get into here, but it is an interesting situation. So I have 4 kids, I said. So my oldest is a boy, and then I have twin girls, and then my youngest is a boy. And one of my twin girls is having twin girls. Yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
she is my Moody Judy. She is like always been a little tough cookie to crack. She's like, I love you, I hate you. I still get that even when she's in your 20s. So if you are one of those parents who have the I love you, I hate you kids, I'm sending you so much love and peace. And you just keep showing up as you, mama, because
Mm-hmm.
let them do what they want to do. Keep showing up as loving you and don't sacrifice who you are.
Right.
Anyway, I have bent backwards for this kid time and time again, and she has her own attachment issues and blah, blah. So when I say that I know that there are seasons of challenge and change, I know that there are seasons of challenge and change. And she is one of those kids who I went to her appointment with her, I guess it was a couple of days ago, got to see the babies, their heartbeat, all the fun things. And I'm over there bubbling with joy. Like, this is like looking at life. You're like, this is
Right.
amazing. She has her Russian scowl on, like anytime me and the stenographer are laughing and, she's just like, I'm going to kill anyone. So back to, you have to be happy
Yeah.
and grateful with whatever situation. Like I had made her tons of food when she came back from a work trip, so she didn't have to cook, like big pan of lasagna, mashed potato, like all the comforty type food. And she complained to my other daughter. She's like, why did she make me a big pan of lasagna? So that is like, if there's anything to take away today, don't complain about a big pan of lasagna. Be grateful in whatever circumstance that you're in.
Right. And know that you can't outsource your own happiness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
it's an inside job. And if you're trying to figure out somebody else's needs because they're depending on you for their own happiness, that's a slippery slope.
Oh, yeah.
And a
Oh, yeah.
full-time job or 2. And you already have so many of those.
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Congratulations on the twins. Congratulations on getting to be a part of the ultrasound situation, since I don't know what your journey to adoption was, but my journey to adoption didn't include very many of those ultrasound situations. So I love that you're getting that in the way that your pants still fit and you just get to buy stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely a different journey than adoption. So,
Right. Which is so good. And you mentioned your book, which I feel like is such a match for this podcast and our conversations here. Can you tell us a little bit about the book and about why you did? I mean, it's kind of like, why does someone go to Paris? That's a rhetorical question. Like, we just go to Paris. That's what we do. So, of course, the book is amazing. There's no why behind it, but tell us about it and just your process.
okay. Yes, of course. I'm excited to talk about this. So, my book is called Naked at 50. Naked at 50. Like literally what it sounds like. So, last year when I was the magical age of 49, I was kind of dreading turning 50. I live a very vibrant life. I do a lot of solo travel. When you're not on the dating apps yet, I don't know if you're ever going to enter that world, but I was like, oh, it changes when your number is 50. People just are like, that is old. That is the mentality of our society, right? And so I really sat with it last year. And I turned 50 May of this year. And so in January of this year, I said, you know what? No, I'm not going to go into my 50th year dreading it. I'm going to embrace it. And so I decided to do 50 experiences I had never done before. And my whole background, well, part of my background, not my whole background in my career, is I'm very much in the health and wellness space. I'm a board certified health and wellness coach, and I've been coaching for years. And I had put together, it's so funny how we have like these breadcrumbs in life. Like as long as you're going forward, it just kind of leads you. And I had put together like courses of all kinds of things. And I was like, oh my gosh, why am I not sharing? So I started sharing my experiences as they were coming up on my podcast. And then about March, I was like, why am I not writing this in a book? This is what people need to hear. So like, this is what I believe people need to hear.
Yes.
So like the first two
This
parts
is what
of the
you
book.
need to say.
Okay, yes. And I feel like it's,
oh, there's definitely an audience. It is in
yeah,
contribution for sure.
yes, for sure. So the first part of the book is like helping people look back and then what they want to leave behind, what they want to
I love
let go
that.
of.
Right.
And then the next part of the book is the moving forward. How do you want to enter this next decade of your life? And then the last part is the 50 new experiences that I've never done before. So it has been, let me tell you, it has been so fun to do these 50 experiences and to be open to trying new things and seeing what flows into your life. I mean, girl, you have a flower farm and you go to France. So like, I know, you know, like how to embrace these experiences. And I always felt like I was really good about finding them, but almost like extra good when you get intentional about it and the things that came from it. Here's my pan of lasagna story. So interestingly enough, okay, so I'm working with a self-publishing agency. So they handle all the, all the stuff. And they put my book on Amazon as a pre-order. But to do that, you have to submit a draft. So they submitted one of my drafts, my pre-edited drafts. They put it in. And one day, and my release date isn't to December 10th. Today we're recording this in November, just to give some context to the story. So one day I get a text from a friend and she said, I ordered your book. I said, no, it's impossible. Like my book's not even available for pre-order. And she said, I ordered your book. So I went online and I looked, and sure enough, my book is on Amazon. And I was like, weird, for pre-order, which is fine. So I go on my socials and I'm like, by the way, I wrote a book and it's available. And it becomes a bestseller within 48 hours and #1 in one category and a bestseller in 3. And I'm like,
congratulations.
Oh, wait, we're getting to the pan of lasagna part. So I am like over the moon. Like I did these affirmations all year of this would be, successful and really inspire people and help people like, just really dive into this time of their life. And then Monday, poof, it's gone. There is no book on Amazon. So I contact my publishing company. I'm like, where? Because I'm getting messages from people that are like, we're trying to buy your book and can't find it. So I messaged my publishing company. She's like, weird. So she reaches out to Amazon. They're like, we don't know what you're talking about. We'll submit a ticket. So that was on a Monday. Tuesday, I start getting messages. Hey, Amazon's changing the delivery date from December 10th to tomorrow. And I'm like, what are they going to send you? Like, surely they're not going to send out the draft. Wendy, they sent out the draft to every single person who bought the book. Yes. Pan of lasagna. You can imagine when you put all this heart and soul into a project, it's like going to the reading of a play. You know what I mean? And not, instead of the performance, like the first day when they all get together or an early rehearsal and you're like, oh, that's not what this is. So yes. So my book has gone out to every person who has ordered it, and which was quite a lot as a draft. And so we said, Amazon KDP, and they said, that's impossible. No, we did not send. And we said, yes, you sent. So they still have not acknowledged sending it. It's in my account, all the people. I know it's really strange. So we've had to go like a different way. And now I'm just waiting for it to get back on Amazon. We used a different distributing company that will put it on Amazon, but we're not relying on Amazon because of what happened. But you can imagine when you have like this idea how something's supposed to go. And I mean, the bestseller thing was like cherry on top, but like to have that like given and then taken so quickly after so much work, it was really kind of heartbreaking. And I really, I'm not disqualifying any of my feelings because they're all real, and the frustration
Totally.
and the sadness. And I was like, is this going to ruin my whole experience? Like in my heart and mind, is this going to be my takeaway? Well, dang it, Amazon. Or is there a lesson here, And I don't know. I'm working through that. I will say that I had to sit with it one morning when it first happened, and I was really upset and frustrated. And I was like, is this going to determine my day, my week, my month, my year? Am I going to choose to accept the pan of lasagna and say it's too big, right?
Right.
Or am I going to really say, I had this amazing experience writing a book. Enough people bought it that it became, I can still say I'm a best-selling author. Enough people bought it that it became a bestseller. And I had these amazing experiences doing the 50 experiences in the book. So it doesn't take away that it's still very frustrating and who knows what's going to happen. And I can still find joy in the journey, in the very bumpy, messy journey.
Absolutely. And I think that's so important because it's true, if you're baking and one of your ingredients is bad, it's going to affect the whole thing. And you can decide to like, oh, now cooking is dumb. We're never going to do it again. And this kitchen doesn't work, and like throw the whole thing out. Or, like you said, you're making a decision and you're pulling out the pieces that are noteworthy, that are the vibrational match of what you want to feel about this process. You're also identifying some leaks in the system for this major corporation. Will you get a thank you note? Probably not. But it's good that you don't just take one for the team and not share your experience with the company as well. You've course corrected, you've made changes for distribution, you've identified what was important in that whole process, and you've doubled down on those, and you get a second chance to launch your book for the first time.
Yeah. And I get another lesson in letting go of expectations of how something should look. Because in my mind, I'm like, am I going to get that bestseller again? Is it going to come back? And while that doesn't mean we don't try to get that or to try to, put that out there, it may not. And so can I just enjoy, I love how you just worded it, Wendy, a second launch. Launch. I feel like my kids have had lots of launches that weren't successful because I have one living with me again. So anyway, it's just it's such a good reminder. There's been so many lessons in almost like the heartache of it that I'm like, what am I supposed to be learning from this? Because it's not seamless. It hasn't been seamless, but it's been such a joy. And writing and doing these 50 new experiences has been really fun.
Right. Do you have any favorites, or have they been categorized?
Not categorized.
Okay.
Nope, not categorized. Originally, they were done sequentially. And then
Okay.
after like talking with my editors, we kind of moved. So they're not even totally sequential. And they each had their thing. Like at the end of every experience, I would put, would I do this experience again? And tips for anyone who wants to try it. And so I would say maybe I'm just going to name maybe 2 or 3 that really, they were
Please.
all good. They were all
Yeah,
good.
of course.
And the cool thing is some of them were like small. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What we would say small, because I think we think like it has to be jumping out of a plane to make it in a book. And no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It could be, this is making it up. This wasn't in the book, but like I went to the grocery store and I bought 2 fruit that I've never tried. You see, like it's giving our brain new experiences, which is so for aging well and living in the body we really want to and the brain we want.
Yes. When I turned 40, I decided I was having 40 birthday parties, and it was so fun. And so I had several actual birthday parties, and then the rest, whenever I had a really brilliant day, I just pretended that was one of my parties. And it has been a practice. Like anytime I have a great day, I pretend it's my birthday. Like I've
Okay,
carried that
Wendy, that is
through.
amazing. That is
Thank
amazing.
you.
Oh
I've
my
just
gosh.
carried that practice through, and it really shifted for me. Not that I had some huge expectation on future birthdays, but there's kind of a lot around an anniversary or Christmas or birthday, these milestone, Valentine's Day, whatever your expectations are, that if it doesn't miss the mark, it feels like a blow instead of just a Thursday. So it's been a really great practice that I've carried through. Anytime, Amelia and I have a great day, we just pretend that was Christmas. And anytime I had a great time with my ex-husband, I just pretended that was our anniversary. And yeah,
Okay, I love that
it's a
reframe.
mind game I play with myself.
It's a mind game for all of us, right?
Mhm.
One of the things I said in my book was you could be standing. I have a fake background on my Zoom right now in these beautiful mountains, but you could be standing in the most beautiful place overlooking forever and feel so happy or so miserable. And you can be sitting in your living room and feel so happy or so miserable. Like
Yeah.
it's your mindset. It's
Yeah.
what's inside your circle of yourself, right? To decide how you want to feel. And I know like life can throw some big fiery darts at us. So that's not to disqualify real feelings. But like you said, it's taking those really good days and celebrating them. And we need those. We need those to put in our bucket so we can draw from those. Okay. So experiences. I would say I walked to the Camino in Spain. That was a big one.
Oh,
I walked a part of it. That
brilliant.
was amazing. We do a smaller one. We took a fencing class.
Fun.
Took a fencing class. And the third one, I went to a nudist resort. So I won't say too much about that. You'll have to read it in the book, but that one was way out of my comfort zone. And definitely I'm glad I took the jump.
And
Or
would you do that again?
I would.
And what were your tips for anyone who wants to do that?
Oh, that one is it was a little bit longer because there were so many things that day taught me, and just a lot of humor, a lot of humor. You'll have to read the book to get the tips,
Yes,
but I'll leave you with any new experience. If you bring openness and humor, you'll get something out of it.
for sure.
So yes, I think I would do it again. Would I sign up for it like on a daily? Like, hey, no, but was it totally worth it? I even think about it sometimes in my mind. I was there for just the day and I was like, I can't believe I did that. Good for me. It's like that Rose from the Titanic when she's painted nude, It's like, damn, I was like,
Look at me.
that's kind of, yeah, bad A. I don't know if I can say
You
ASS.
can.
Okay, that was badass. Like, I did it. Gosh. And I feel like there are things we do, like almost symbolically, like things we do when we're in a new season. And it was one of my last experiences. It was, I think in the book, it's like experience 46, but like sequentially, it was probably like my 41st or something. Anyway, it was definitely one of my last 10 experiences. And I was like, I am so glad I got this one in. And it also inspired the title. Part of the reason I chose Naked at 50 is the title.
Hey, I love to just in the small amount that you shared about that experience, how your recollections of it was how you felt about you being there. And I would think that going into that, just kind of like when I'm going anywhere, I'm like, oh, what will people think? Or what am I gonna like? Someone's gonna judge me for some whatever we think that has to do with how other people are seeing us. And yet, in your recollection, your memories were all about how you saw you in that situation. And chances are, that's what was going on in the minds of everybody else that was there. They were in their own experience. And it's not seventh grade where people are pointing and laughing or judging or whatever thing that, we could imagine about, that kind of experience, that for people that have not had a career in health and wellness, I'll say.
Yeah, yeah, and that was one of the beauties, is that seeing so many people comfortable in their, what society would say, not Instagram model bodies, and just
Right.
being cool with it. It was very freeing. I will share one thing. Was there was a couple there, and they had 4 kids, and they were probably a little bit younger than me, probably like early 40s or whatever. And the wife had so many, she was a small woman, and she had so many stretch marks and was very insecure about her body. And then about 6 years ago, I don't know what led them to go to their first, I think it was like nude hot springs or whatever is where they went. And it became this like journey for her to really love the body she's in.
Mm.
And so now she has this security around her body that she never had before. And I think that was a beautiful takeaway.
That gives me chills. I'm so happy for her. I think transformation is beautiful. There's just this glow and this light that comes from within, and an empowered, strong woman is so beautiful regardless of what she looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say for the men there, a couple of them shared because I was asking questions to everyone. It was just like, I was wide eyed, like, tell me everything. And even for them being okay with their own selves and their own body. Of course, I don't feel like they have the same pressure as women, but they still, we still live in a society of, where this is a focus. And so they also had gone through their own journeys of being comfortable. And one was a man who had come out as gay several years ago. And so his first step was like, he went with his dad before he had come out to a nudist thing. And he was just like, whoa. And so it helped him. That was such a big deal. So then it helped him be able to come out more and have more acceptance in himself. And his partner, who grew up very religious, like where people didn't take off their t-shirt at the beach, religious, type of thing.
Right.
And so going to a nudist resort was a huge stretch for him, but really had allowed him to take back the layers of who he was and just really come into himself in all ways. So yeah, it was a really neat experience.
Right. I love just, I wouldn't have thought necessarily that the elements of that kind of experience would be so much vulnerability. Like, it's not spring break with less clothes, it's expression and acceptance. And wow, the mental journey for all the people that were there is really significant and profound.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. It was a really powerful experience. And Naked at 50, the title came from both that and from like being fresh and new, just and naked and open to new experiences. So it just felt like such a coming together of really the message that I'm hoping people get from the book. Like, leave behind what you don't want to take with you. Leave
Right.
behind your pessimistic thoughts about a full pan of lasagna, and like, what do you want to take with you? What is your next decade going to look like? And although I wrote this for people turning 50, this is for anyone who has a significant, whatever that significance means, a significant birthday or change happening in their life, and they
Right.
really want to move forward. So it's kind of like, a love affair with yourself. Here's a little
Yep.
bit of a manual, and here's some inspiration. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. So how are you saying yes to yourself in this season?
Yeah. So I'm saying yes to continually being open. So I feel like before I did the book, I was open, always open. Like, yeah, I'll try it. I mean, not jumping out of a plane, but outside of that, sure, I'll try it. And I think this was just such a love story of saying yes to continuing to say yes to myself, to new experiences. And then also, you and I were talking before we started recording about wintering and really being in the season, I am also saying yes to myself that I don't always have to be doing. And so that is a little love note to myself this winter season, to just be okay. I have spent a year doing, and it's been magical and good. And I'm ready to just like have this yes to myself of not doing and being, having a little bit of a being season.
That's so gorgeous. I'm just, the word replenish came to mind. And I think that the idea of that is really attractive. And as a farmer, I recognize the need for that. I grew up in California and now live in Massachusetts. So there are actual seasons, and I understand that the soil needs to rest and all of these words. I understand, but I don't practice. I encourage it in other people. I see where they're overworking and give them permission to rest. And I have given myself permission to rest from outside chores. But to me, that has been an invitation to now focus on all the inside chores and really dive into that. And I've been just recently sitting with the idea that it is safe to be at rest. And I love the way that that feels. I love the exhale, as a nod to your podcast title. I love the exhale, the relief that that idea brings. And I am building the courage to experience the benefits of what that practice would bring.
I love that you're a farmer, because I feel like, first of all, I love that you're a farmer, period.
Thank you.
And I just think that's so cool. And I love farmers because seasons are really just a part of your whole experience. It's just, I imagine, right? It's a part of your whole journey. And so now you get to have this season of rest during the winter, and as part of your journey as a human and a farmer. It's really neat, Wendy.
Thank you. So I mentioned briefly your podcast. Please tell everybody about that. Tell them how they can find and follow you, get the book, all of the things.
All the things. Okay. So my podcast is called Living on the Exhale. Website is On the Exhale, drop the living, but don't stop living. And then my book is, by the time this podcast premieres, it'll be back on Amazon. You can get it at Barnes & Noble, Walmart. It'll be distributed to lots of different places. But thank you for having me today.
Oh,
I would love to connect.
Yes.
And if you want to see pictures of what happens in the book, I do have an Instagram. It's solely for this. It's called Naked at 50. You can jump on that one, or you can jump on my Instagram at Living on the Exhale to connect.
Oh, wonderful. We will link everything down in the show notes. But thank you so much for your time, Staci. This has been such a treat.
Thank you so much. May you have a full pan of lasagna.
I welcome a full pan of lasagna. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. As always, any links or notes mentioned can be found at phineaswrighthouse.com in the podcast section of our site, or in the show notes below. And if you haven't connected with me personally, come find me on Instagram at Phineas Wrighthouse and let me know you listened to this episode. I'd love to get to know you. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I know your days are full, and I'm really grateful that you chose to spend some of your precious time right here. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of these delightful conversations. I'll see you next week.